Hello and welcome to the webinar. Today's topic is the $10 million marketing and lead generation plan for remodelers. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're going to cover a lot of territory. We're going to cover a lot of ground. This is sort of a high-level overview of a lot of important topics. We're not going to go into too much specific detail, but we're going to go into enough detail that you get a good idea of how to make some of this stuff work for you. Okay, first, before we get going, I want to recognize our partner sponsors. These are companies that have invited you to the webinar today. Without them, there would be no webinar. So you may want to just quickly reach out to them via email or text and say, thank you for inviting me. Let them know if you felt like there was good value. I will go through some of these partners a little bit later in the webinar to give you an idea of who they are and what they can potentially do for you. But by way of mention, we've got Bricks Recruiting Partners. It's a recruiting firm specifically for this industry. G4 Marketing, cool stuff that they're doing. Dave Yoho, most of you probably heard of that company. Structurally, it's an AI company. We're going to go into that in detail in just a little bit. We're going to start at the Holiday Inn Express for today's webinar. The Holiday Inn Express, this story goes all the way back 19 years ago to 2005. I was in a van traveling across country with my wife and my 6 kids, who at the time were 6 months old to 12 years old. Currently, they're 19 to 31, so a lot has changed in the last 19 years. Time has a way of doing that. But at this particular time, I need you to keep in mind, 2005, we didn't have iPhones yet. You couldn't get on your phone and check the internet. So when it came time, as we're driving from Texas to Idaho, to pull over for the night, we were in Ogden, Utah, and the kids were getting very rowdy, shall we say, after several hours of driving. And we pulled over at the exit that had like 5 or 6 different hotels. And my wife, she has a very strong preference that is no crusty hotels. So we pulled off on this exit, looked over, there was one, I think it was called the Wagon Wheel Motel. It looked like it was from the 50s, not going to happen. I saw a Howard Johnson's, old, crusty, not going to happen. Then I saw this Holiday Inn Express, and it looked like it was brand new. Said, let's go check, see if they've got rooms. Went inside, left the kids in the car while I went in to check. First thing I asked them, how old is this hotel? They said it was built 2 years ago. I said, perfect, I'll take 2 rooms. We got to set, 8 people, we got to cram them in there. So I rent 2 rooms, and while I'm going through the process of renting the rooms, I look over to the side on the counter there, and there's a little plexiglass sign with a little printed out sign in it, and it says, welcome to the Holiday Inn Express, home of the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring the Stay Smart shower head by Kohler. And I thought, okay, whatever. They have a shower head, but it was a big old picture of a big old shower head, and I thought, looks kind of nice, but whatever. Checking in. Got the rooms, went upstairs, got the keys. Kids go crazy. They've been cooped up all day. They start jumping on the beds. They start turning on the TV. And while all this chaos is happening, I look over next to the TV on the little dresser thing there, and I see another sign, and it's in plexiglass, and it says, welcome to your room at your earliest convenience. Check out the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring the Stay Smart shower head from Kohler. And there's a picture of a big old shower head. Now, I'm a marketing guy, so you got me down at the counter. Now you're getting me here next to the TV, and I think, I'm gonna go check this out. Let's see what's going on with this Stay Smart shower head. So I walk into the bathroom, and the shower curtain is closed, so I don't see it immediately, but what I do see is another sign. It's the 3rd sign now on the counter in the bathroom, and it says, welcome to the Stay Smart bathroom, featuring, and this time it had 4 things listed. The first one was a bowed out shower curtain rod. Now, at the time, this was the latest hotel bathroom technology. It bowed out so that shower curtain wouldn't touch you when you got into the shower, because that's disgusting. Number 2 on that list was oversized plush towels. And I looked over, and the towels looked kind of big for a hotel of this quality. I thought, okay, give them a little squeezer. They look pretty good. Number 3, designer toiletries. And I looked on the counter, and they looked like they were French or something. Very fancy shampoos and soaps and all that kind of stuff. I thought, wow, this is really neat. And then number 4 out of 4, of course, the Stay Smart shower head. Okay, little picture, not as huge as the other ones. So I look over, and of course the shower curtain's closed on that bowed out shower curtain rod. So I open it up, and it's like the when the clouds part and the angels sing. I looked in there, and I saw the Stay Smart shower head. And you want to know how I knew it was the Stay Smart shower head? Let me show you on this screen. It's because they actually had a picture of the Stay Smart shower head on the Stay Smart shower head. This is an actual photo taken from my flip phone from 2005 of the Stay Smart shower head notice on the Stay Smart shower head. And you can see there it's got 3 different little settings down there at the bottom. I think it was like rejuvenating, relaxing, reinvigorating, something like that. And I thought, wow, the Stay Smart shower head. So I did the only thing I could think of. I locked the door and I got in the shower. I thought, this thing is awesome. Look at that thing. It was fantastic. The kids are going wild. My wife wants to go eat. All of this is chaos is happening. I'm in the shower, rejuvenating, relaxing, reinvigorating, and I'm telling you, it was amazing. Okay, that's the Stay Smart shower head. I want you to take that story, put it in your little mental vault for a minute. We're going to come back to it. Before we do that, let me tell you who we are. Level 10 Contractor. What is our company? My name is Rich Harshaw. I'm the founder, author of what? A book. I'll show it to you in a minute. I'm the CEO of the company. We've been in business since 1994 in different iterations. We're on our 30th year, and we've been working with contractors for since 2005. So about the same time that I saw the Stay Smart shower head. We've worked with some of the biggest and most successful companies in this industry, 1-800-Hansons of the world, Service Champions, Horizon Services, some of the large remodeling companies. We also work with a lot of smaller companies to help them grow. And honestly, that's probably who is mostly on this call, companies from about $2 to about $20 million in sales, something like that. Here's what we do. We're an elite level provider of websites and SEO. That's how we make money. We sell websites and SEO. We're really, really good at it. We also do advertising services, digital advertising. We're also really big into radio and television advertising. These are our expertises. Wrote a book called Unlocking Unlimited Lead Flow. You can see right there the subtitle. It is a blueprint for remodeling and home service contractors to make the jump to $10 million and above. You look at the top, there's a little quote there. This book details the exact formula I used to grow Hansons to $80 million. Rich Harshaw is a contracting marketing genius. Not my words, Brian Elias. If you don't know who Brian Elias is, look him up. Impressive guy. All right, also have a podcast. Well, everybody's got a podcast these days. Well, I have a daily podcast. It's almost 1,800 episodes. Go look it up. Level 10 Contractor Daily Podcast. Any marketing thing that you could possibly want to know for your contracting business, it is on this podcast multiple times, 1,800 episodes. I strongly encourage you to look it up. Here's the price, free. Doesn't get any better than free. And if I don't say so myself, pretty darn good. Here's what we do. We help remodeling and home services companies make the jump to $10 million plus by generating unlimited lead flow. Now, one of the things I'm going to talk about a little bit later is a website audit that you can get from us. We'll look at your website. We'll give you some ideas on where it's not strong. We'll give you some ideas on how to make it better. I'm going to cover websites and SEO later in this webinar, but this is just a little bit of a preview. If you want to use your little phone thing there to capture that QR code, or you can go to level10audit.com. You might want to get a head start. There's going to be a lot of people wanting this by the end of the webinar when I offer it again. You might want to get a head start. You can have more options on the times that you choose. Free website audit. Now, before we get into the heart of the matter here, I do want to make sure that we do a shout out to our sponsors, G4 Marketing and Dave Yoho and Associates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. And while I do this, I'm going to put a poll on the screen, and the poll will allow you to request them to give you information about their services. So I'm going to launch the poll. All right, there it is. We're going to talk about G4 Marketing and Dave Yoho and Associates. G4, here's a question you need to have. What percentage of your business comes from repeat and referral right now? Is it 5%, 10, 20%? Is it higher? Whatever it is, it should be higher. And G4 Marketing, they're going to help you get it there. They have an amazing service that I had always wished existed, but it never existed. Here's what they're going to do. A couple of different things. They've got a service where they'll send out gifts to your customers, which is going to really solidify the experience with them. Really, really cool. They use these cookies that are freaking amazing. They also have, excuse me, I was going to say even better. I don't know if it's better. It's equally as cool. They have a service where they'll stay in touch with your customers for you on an ongoing basis, which is going to foster a crap ton of repeat and referral business. Yes, that is a technical term, a crap ton. And this is an amazing service, G4 Marketing. I'll just tell you real quick. The company that I'm aware of that's large, over $20 million in sales, that has the highest percentage of repeat and referral business, is called Next Door and Window in Chicago. Justin Bartley owns the company. Amazing company. They use G4 service. 49% last I talked, it could be a little bit different by now. 49% of their business is repeat and referral. They're using this service. You should look into it. The next partner sponsor is Dave Yoho Associates. These guys have been around so long. I think everybody knows about them. They're going to help you improve your company's revenue, efficiency, and profit. Here's what they do. They provide full-scale consultation service, powerful industry seminars, and then they have just a ton of different kinds of trainings focused on sales, marketing, recruiting, hiring, management for business, and all the different pieces and parts of your business. I did a podcast with with Brad Yoho, Dave's son. It's number 1755 on June 28th, if you want to look that up. They have a flagship product. It's called Super Sales Training, SST. It's an online subscription-based sales training platform. Take a look at this. You can go to supertraining.com and use the code 15OFF. You get a 15% discount. Go to daveyoho.com to learn about other services, but go to supersalestraining.com, use code 15OFF for that. Okay. Thank you for those sponsors, and thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll, get back to our webinar here. Let's see, how do I get back to my webinar here? There we go. Let's talk about attributes of what I call a level 10 contractor. This is the name of my company, level 10, and it indicates a mindset of companies that just attempt and usually do everything right. Companies that have the best products and services, they charge the highest prices in their market, they budget and spend 10% or more on marketing, they never cut corners on anything, they can afford to deal with inevitable problems, and they're the best at what they do, okay? They make the most money. Before 2011, I worked with a lot of remodeling companies, mostly smaller. In 2011, I got hired by a company called Horizon Services out of Wilmington, Delaware. They also serve Philadelphia. They were about a $44 million company. And they completely shattered my expectations of how a company operates, how companies make money, how companies get big, how companies do things right. This was the first time I dealt with a company that was an absolute leader in the market, and they did everything right. Their spend on marketing, 10% every year, no matter what, 10%. They were going to make more money next year. They would raise their marketing budget accordingly. Had the best products, the best services, everything that they did was right. 2015, a few years later, they referred me over to another company in that same industry called Service Champions, and I found even another company that was doing 35 million. They're now doing over 100 million because they have this level 10 attitude. And I thought, my gosh, what if I could take what these companies are doing? Also, in that same time frame, working with Hanson's, 1-800 Hanson's and Brian Elias, and I see these companies that are making money hand over fist, and their customers absolutely love them, even though they're charging the highest prices in the industry. How is this possible? And I thought, what if I took this mindset to the smaller companies, to the 2 million, the 5 million, the 8 and 9, 10, $12 million companies, and said, start to do business like that. That's what we're talking about today. It's what I call the $10 million mindset, demanding excellence in everything that you do. I remember when I first met with Mark Aiken, the owner of Horizon Services, we were touring his warehouse. He was showing me the facilities, and we were walking in, and he looked down on the floor, and there was a scuff mark about 12 to 15 inches long. It was black on the floor. And he said, hey, where's this scuff mark come from? And the guy said, oh, it just happened a few minutes ago. Let's get it cleaned up. We were then walking up the stairs back in the offices, and he stopped where we're walking up the stairs, and he goes, hey, what's this little mark on the carpet on the stairs? And sure enough, about a dime-sized little black mark. He said, hey, we need to get that taken care of. I thought, wow, this is kind of intense. We get down to the bottom of the stairs. We look out, you can see it's a glass door. You can see through the door into the parking lot where they've got a bunch of their service trucks. And as we're walking, he goes, hey, why does that truck have stuff on the dashboard? They had a big rule, no stuff on the dashboard. You don't put your clipboard, you don't put your papers up there, gloves, all that kind of stuff, not on the dashboard. Looks bad. And he said, hey, there's a truck with stuff on the dashboard. Whose truck is that? Let's get that taken care of right now. There's probably, just in view, probably 20 trucks out of hundreds that they had. This is demanding excellence, making sure that things go right, having this attitude of getting things done the right way, knowing that you don't know. I've told this story before. If you've heard my podcast, Brian Elias, $80 million 1-800 Hanson's. Currently, he sold that company, now has Refloor, which is on track to do $70 million this year. They've only been in business 4 years. This guy, and I think it was 2012, it's been a while, he called me up and he said, hey, Rich, we've done a lot of marketing stuff with you. It's been fantastic. We love what you do. We value your opinion. Could I pay you to come to your office, bring a couple of my executives in sales, and have you review our sales presentation for us? And I said, well, yeah, how much would you pay for that? And he says, oh, I don't know, how much do you want? I said, I don't know, $15,000. He goes, great, $15,000. When can you do it? We can be there as early as next Monday. I think it was a Tuesday. I said, okay, and we set up the date. He came down, and this guy sat there for 6 hours picking my brain on how to improve his sales presentation. This is a company that was one of the most successful at the time, still very, very successful. And he's picking my brain on sales because he wants to make sure that he doesn't have any blind spots. Knowing that you don't know everything. The third thing on here is raising your prices. This is key. You've got to have high prices to be able to charge enough money to be able to get to have the money to do everything that you need to do right, whether it's hiring the right people, giving them the right training, giving them the right tools. You can't half-ass anything. You can't be putting partial work, partial effort into your systems. And I've found that the companies that have the $10 million mindset, they focus on how do we raise our prices. They'll use financing to make sure they can get higher prices. They'll have what we call an identity, which I'm going to talk about here in just a minute, to help them set expectations and help people understand who they are and how they're different and why they're better and what they can people can expect when they do business with them. It's all about having enough money rolling through your business to be able to handle everything in the best way imaginable. Budgeting for success, making sure that you're spending the money, not cutting budgets because things are getting a little tight, weather isn't good or whatever's happening. Budgeting for success, and then finally exiting the comfort zone. And I want you to think about this one a lot right now and during this webinar, because I'm going to show you some things that I'm going to encourage you to do that are outside of your comfort zone, because in your comfort zone, the things that I'm going to be talking about don't make that much difference, and or you've tried them before and they don't work. So in your comfort zone, you have this thing that says, hey, that doesn't work. So we don't want to approach and try that, when in fact, if done properly, the things that I'm going to share with you work phenomenally well. You just have to understand them and be willing to, number one, exit the comfort zone to even consider it. And then once you've considered it, you feel like it might be worthwhile, you have to exit your comfort zone to get over there and actually execute against it. So this is a big part of the $10 million mindset. Read the screen. Let's move on. Let's talk about identity. Standing out from the crowd. This is what you want. You want to be the one red apple in the sea of green apples. This is a metaphor, of course. You don't have to be green or red or whatever color. The idea is that you've got 100 competitors out there, and what you want is for customers, prospects, to see your company, to be on your website, to see your advertising, to see you at the home show, to hear you on the radio, and you want them to say, oh my gosh, this is the company that is different and better, that I want to do business with, that is the company to do business with. But and you think that that's happening because you know how much effort and time and systems that you've put into place, hiring the right people to perform at such a high level. But here's what's really happening. What's really happening is you're just another green apple in a sea of green apples. You say, no. You don't understand, Rich. We're different. We're better. We do things. We try harder. We're objectively speaking better. And here's the problem. If you don't know how to communicate your distinct advantages to the marketplace with power, precision, and passion, then you're going to appear, I'm leaning heavy into the word appear, to be just like all of your competitors, even though you're not. Here's why. Most marketing, it's full of platitudes, words and phrases that are drearily commonplace. They're predictable. They lack power to evoke interest through overuse and repetition. They're stated as if they're original or significant. You say things like, we got the best service, highest quality, largest selection, free estimates. We've been in business since 1431 BC. And people look at that and they just sort of yawn and they go, okay, so what? That's what everybody's saying. You've got to find a way to communicate with power, precision, and passion. The result is you end up looking like your competitors. Your websites look about the same, home shows look about the same, print about the same, digital about the same, TV, radio about the same, direct mail about the same. Pretty much everything else looks about the same. You're just a basket of apples that all looks the same. Okay. Now, if you don't believe me, just go to Google search. This is not a search. This is a screenshot. I live in Utah. This was done here, Pleasant Grove. That's a town that's near where I live. Here's what the website says. Pleasant Grove's Window Installers Performance Windows provides the highest quality windows at a fraction of the price. Are you ready to improve the value, comfort, and energy efficiency of your home? And then if you scroll, you see this. This guy looks like a Muppet. I'm not quite sure why. About us. Living in Utah, you need windows that can withstand the heat of the summer, the winter chills, and canyon winds. Performance Windows covers that, and then some. energy efficiency windows that have no problem in the warm and cold climates that withstand up to 190 miles an hour wind. I've lived here for 6 years. I've never seen a wind over about 30, 40 miles an hour. I don't know where this 190 mile an hour thing's coming from. On top of that, having modern features make it impossible not to love. Here's what I'm trying to tell you is that this is a bunch of platitudinal nonsense that anybody that's reading it's going to just glaze their eyes over and go, okay, whatever, Muppet man, about us, lifetime service. At Performance Windows, we pride ourselves in the quality of our windows and our service. Each of our installers has installed thousands of all-side windows working exclusively for performance. I'm not even going to read this because it's so boring. This is what I'm trying to help you understand. This is boring nonsense that people read and they go, okay, whatever, dude. And it doesn't move the needle. It doesn't stand out. It's platitudes. Okay, I could do the same thing for these. I'm not going to. Just look at it on the screen. It's a bunch of nonsense. Number one best. Look, this is actually a hyperlink right here. If you click on this, what does our being the #1 window company in Utah do for you? Get you a better window for a great price. If you click on that, here's what comes up. Utah's #1 replacement window. Instead of providing evidence that they're the #1 company, they just say we're the most trusted. We meet your needs. It's dumb. This is idiotic stupidity. And people aren't falling for this. Their eyes are glazing over and they're like, okay, give me the best price, bro. Because that's what you're leading them to do. You're giving them nonsense, uninteresting, unrelevant, non-compelling information on your website. And so they come to you and they want the lowest price. And then you get pissed because you're like, hey, why do these guys all just want the lowest price? The answer is because you haven't helped them understand how you're different, why you're better, what they can expect if they do business with you that might be actually, worth more money. You sound like Charlie Brown's mom. Remember the old cartoons? Remember that's wah, 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 wah. This is what your website sounds like. This is what your print ads and your TV and your radio ads sound like. You sound like everybody else. You sound like the green apple next to all the other green apples, to use the metaphor. Get your phone out, take a picture of this. You're going to need your phone a little bit later to request the website audit. But right now, definition of identity: words, phrases, and images articulated with power, precision, and passion. The 3 Ps: power, precision, and passion, that instantly and definitively communicate who you are, how you're different and better, and what customers can expect when doing business with you. Jot this down, take a picture of it, tattoo it backwards on your forehead so that you can see it when you're shaving or putting your makeup on, depending on how you fly in that situation. And understand, you've got to communicate with power, precision, and passion. It's your responsibility. Now, you may not be able to do it. You might have to hire somebody to do it for you. But if you don't communicate with power, precision, and passion, instantly, definitively communicate who you are, how you're different, why you're better, what people can expect when they do business with you, then they're not going to know. And you're going to look like everybody else. Okay. This is called identity. Okay. Now, here's what you need to know: confirmation bias. People are going to look for evidence to support what they already believe. They're going to ignore or minimize evidence that goes against their beliefs. We see this in politics all the time with the likes of Donald Trump, Joe Biden. Of course, he just quit. Probably should update this PowerPoint to put Kamala's face on there. But here's the point: no matter what you think about these people, you're going to filter any evidence or stories that come up about them through your filter that says, I hate Joe Biden, or I hate Donald Trump, or I love Joe Biden, or I love Donald Trump. And then you're going to believe whatever you want to believe because it's going to confirm what you believe. And you're going to ignore and minimize evidence. Now, why did I tell you the story about the Holiday Inn Express earlier? Well, because that's what's happening with this Holiday Inn Express shower head. Remember the story. There was a sign on the counter when I checked in. There was a sign next to the television in the main room. There was a sign on the counter in the bathroom, or the vanity, I guess you call it. And then there was one literally hanging from the dadgum shower head itself. And here's what's happening: they're using confirmation bias to their favor to make you like this shower head. Because I want you to consider, if there was no sign on the counter or next to the TV or in the bathroom on the counter or hanging from the shower, here's what would happen. You would get in the shower the next morning when it was time to get cleaned up. You would take a shower and you would pay zero attention to the shower head. You wouldn't pay any attention to it. You would pay no attention to it. Here's why: there's so many things that are in your normal course of experience that you can't pay attention to them all. So here's what they've done. They said, let's make people pay attention to this one thing. Now, they did surveys over at the Holiday Inn Express. Here's what they found. They found that when they did surveys without using signage, that people rated the shower head 4.5 stars out of 5. In other words, it was good. It's great. No problem. Loved it. Whatever. Then after they showed the signs 4 different times, people rated it 4.95 stars. They rated it higher. People liked the same shower head higher after being told to look at it. This is what I call pointing at the shower head. What you've got to do is you've got to find the things that you do really, really well, the reasons that your customers love you, articulate them in a way that come alive, and then you have to help the prospect visualize your advantages, okay? This is what I call pointing at your shower head. What are the things that you do well that you want people to notice? Because if you do not point at them and you don't tell people and you don't tell your story, guess what? They're not going to pay attention and you're not going to get credit for all the things that you do great and you're going to look like everybody else. The concept here is called identity. Okay, so we've got 5 pillars of identity. I'll just put them on the screen real quick. First one is your products. Second, your workmanship, bedside manner, core values, culture, and reputation. And each of these are the individual identity points. You may want to take a photo of this particular screen. Now, I'll be putting this on YouTube later today, so you can review the whole thing if you want, but for sake of simplicity, you might want to take a photo. So here's what we do. We sit down with our clients and we go, okay, out of each of these 5 pillars, what are 3 that you do really, really well? Then what we do is we find stories, examples, and comparisons, and we tell those stories. Okay, so I'll show you some examples of this in a few minutes. I'm going to get to a portion here shortly called TV and radio, and I'm going to show you examples of what this looks like in actual TV and radio commercials. For now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to find 3 of each of these lists, and I want you to write them down on a piece of paper. Okay, take a photo of this. You can do it later. You don't have to do it right this second. Is it that you're punctual? Is that you don't cut corners? You have attention to detail. You slow down to do it right the first time. For quality, use quality materials. Now, I want you to remember this one right here, quality materials, because I'm going to share with you a radio ad in a little bit that tells this story and makes it really, really come alive. Okay, you've got to tell it with power, precision, and passion, because if you don't, the jury, who is your customers, they won't believe you. Okay. Now, here's what happens if you have an identity, and I will show you examples of this in a minute. Okay, but for now, identity becomes the hub of all your marketing. You put it into your website, print ads, online, TV, home shows, phone scripts, in-home sales, your bread and butter. Your bread and butter is whatever marketing thing that you do that consistently generates you leads. It could be some of the things that are already on the screen here. I talked to a company yesterday. They get 80% of their business from canvassing. It's a $140 million company. It's a lot of canvassing. You can integrate your identity into your canvassing approach, into your canvassing pitches, into your ads, whatever you want. So you've got to find your shower head and point at it. Again, I will show you examples of this shortly. I want to show you how to implement it into your website. Okay. This is a company called Midland Exteriors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my Google and I'm going to share my screen with you. MidlandExteriors.com. I should have had this pulled up before. I didn't. Here it is right here. And here's what you can do is you read through this. We're a family-owned business that insists on the best materials, installation, and service, no exceptions. And then as you scroll down, we go into detail. We only use the strongest, longest lasting materials, fiberglass windows, lifetime performance, seamless steel siding, the only permanent solution. Why choose Midland Exteriors? And then we get into some of the reasons why. Now, if you want more detail, check this out. We come over here to Why Us. We talk about, for instance, zero pressure. Get honest, zero pressure quotes. Midland Exteriors is your 100% stress-free option. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at what's on the screen and I want you to compare it against this definition of identity. Power, precision, and passion instantly, definitively communicate who you are, how you're different, why you're better, what people can expect when they do business with you. Midland Exteriors is your 100% stress-free option. We specialize in just the facts and fair pricing. At Midland Exteriors, our approach is to in-home appointments is a little different than most Kansas exterior remodelers. We will not subject you to awkward, rehearsed, long-winded sales pitches. We prefer personal, informative conversations. We will not twist your arm. We will not play pricing games, and so on and so forth. You can read this if you want. You come back over here to Why Us. Let's see, unflinching integrity. True accountability never wavers, neither does Midland. We don't rest until your project is immaculate. How do you define integrity? We go through, we tell this story, okay? Now here's the idea. Hopefully it's becoming clear. We want to communicate with power, precision, and passion, who we are, how we're different, why we're better, and what people can expect when they do business with us. Now, let me flip back to our presentation. Okay, let's keep going. Before we keep going, I want to introduce our last two sponsors to you. And as I do this, I will put another poll on the screen. So go ahead and fill this out. You can choose as many as you want. I'm going to talk about SEO and media advertising after this, so stick around. We've got some really good stuff. Remember I said I was going to show some receipts. Here we go. Okay, Structurally, this is a really cool product. Structurally is an AI tool that allows you to connect to your leads using AI. You don't have to use staff to constantly call and text and email the leads because the AI is going to do it for you. They've got 8 years of experience. It has processed over 10 million leads, 57% contact rates. Now, here's what's going to happen. They're going to send out phone calls with AI and also text messages that are AI generated to communicate with people and actually have conversations with your prospects. Then they can either put them over onto a phone call with you live, or you can send them somewhere to get fill out a form to get a quote. It's really, really cool. I'm going to give you a phone number that you can call and test this out. It's 515-516-3061. Call it, try it. 515-516-3061. Jot it down. Probably should have put it on the screen. I didn't. 515-516-3061. Call this AI and try to break it. You might be able to break it if you try really hard, but you probably won't. It's really, really cool. Okay, so you can also go to their website at structurally.ai or AO or .com. I'm not really sure. Structurally.com. All right, next, Bricks Recruiting Partners. By the way, I did a podcast 1752 on June 25th with Structurally. You can go listen to us talk about AI stuff. Bricks, this is a company that does executive recruiting, management recruiting, specifically in the home improvement industry. If you're looking for talent, you need to call these guys, get in touch with them. They're going to help you find the right people. Now, here's the thing that you probably don't know. Most of the people that you actually want to end up hiring, guess what? They're not looking for a job right now. So you've got to rely on a company like Bricks that is networking all the time and knows who the people are that would be a good fit for a job. If they're looking, fantastic. If they're not looking, they can reach out to them. This is a very industry specific tool. I'm going to encourage you to get in touch with them. bricksrecruiting.com. You can see they're spelled with an X. bricksrecruiting.com. Look them up. Okay, thank you for filling out the poll. I'm going to close that sucker, and we're going to keep moving right along. We're going to talk about turbocharging your SEO. Now, before we get into this, I want you to remember that I'm going to show you some radio and TV ads that are going to really demonstrate the concept of identity in a powerful way. So hold on, we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. First though, SEO. Here's the problem with SEO. Frankly, it doesn't work most of the time with most SEO companies. And I say this with authority because we do website audits like I offered you earlier, and I will offer you again. And the website audits come back with a score. The average score is 27 out of 100. 27 out of 100. What would you do if your kid brought home a report card with a 27 in science? If that was me when I was a kid, I would not be here right now because my father would have killed me. Probably literally, at least figuratively. Okay, 27 out of 100. This is the average score we're seeing on website audits. Here's what most web SEO companies say. They say, well, it's the algorithm. It's changing all the time. We don't know how to keep up with this algorithm. How can you predict what Google's going to do? And they hide behind the algorithm as their excuse for things not working. And it's dumb because the algorithm changes, but it doesn't change that much that often. And when it does change, everybody that's in the industry of SEO should know what the changes are. It's not like a huge mystery. And also, by the way, the things that are the most important in terms of determining which websites to rank high, they don't ever change. And I'll show that to you as we go through this. Now, you need to understand how Google really works to understand SEO. This is stuff worth knowing. You need to know this. First of all, Google does not rank websites. I said it a second ago, I actually spoke wrong. Google does not rank websites. What it does is it ranks web pages. So here's what happens. Somebody is searching for something. Let's say that they're in the San Diego area and they're looking for a tub to shower conversion. They're going to go into Google and they're going to type tub to shower conversion. What Google is going to do is look for a page, not a site, a page on a site that is a precise match for what? Tub to shower conversion in San Diego, or if they're in specifically Chula Vista, not San Diego, but specifically Chula Vista, California, which is a suburb neighboring San Diego, then it's going to look specifically for pages that are optimized for tub to shower conversions in Chula Vista, California. And if you have that page on your website, you've got a good chance of showing up in the search. If you don't have that page on your website, you're not going to show up in the search. If you do have that page on your website, but it's executed poorly and it's not optimized properly, you're still going to lose to the pages that are done properly. It's very simple. This is not that hard. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to blow your doors away here in just a second. Your job then, create specific pages that are precise match for whatever's being searched. The key is to be relevant. Now, I'm going to give you an analogy here. This is a picture of World War II. My grandfather, he's 99 years old. He's one of the 1% of veterans that are still alive. He fought in the Japanese part of World War II. He fought in Midway and then in Iwo Jima, two very famous battles. There's been multiple movies made of both. Here's why I'm bringing this up. When you're fighting in a war, you don't just go fight the war, air quote, the war. You go to specific battles and you fight specific battles according to what is needed at the given time. In the case of my grandfather, it was the Battle of Midway. Then later it was the Battle of Iwo Jima. In SEO, here's what people do. They say, oh, I just built this new website. It's got 30 pages on it. It looks beautiful. People are telling me it looks awesome. And so it's going to start ranking for stuff. That's an awkward pause. It's going to start ranking for stuff. That is not how the world works. That is not how Google works. Your website is not going to just start randomly ranking for stuff. It's going to start ranking if it has specific pages that are optimized for specific locations and keywords. Okay, so think of SEO like war. You have to determine where you want to dominate, determine what you want to dominate, keywords. And when I say where you want to dominate, I mean specifically. I don't mean San Diego. I mean Chula Vista. I mean El Cajon. I mean, name all the cities, determine what you want to dominate. I don't mean bathroom remodeling. I mean, tub to shower conversions, tub replacement. Yes, bathroom remodeling specifically. And then you create pages that are optimized for what I call geo keyword pairs. This is a really important, it's red. That means it's important. Geo keyword pairs. Tattoo this onto your consciousness. Here's what you're doing when you create these pages. These pages become troops that you're putting into specific battles to get traffic from specific geo keyword pairs. The pages or the troops, it's a metaphor, okay? They have to be executed at an elite level or they're not going to work, okay? So let's review what we've just talked about here. You cannot just create a website and then hope Google's going to rank you for stuff. You have to have a website then create specific additional pages that are optimized for specific geo keyword pairs, Chula versions, Oceanside tub to shower conversions, so that when somebody is in and they type tub to shower conversions, that hyper specific page inside, and they go to Google that you've created and you've optimized properly, it shows up in the search results. If you don't do this, you will certainly lose out to companies who do this with their websites. And again, the pages have to be executed at an elite level. All right, now there's three kinds of pages you need to be aware of, and then I'm going to start showing you some receipts here. First, core pages. These are the main navigation of your website. They should be optimized for broad geographic areas, okay? Because if you're servicing the Dallas-Fort Worth area or the San Diego area, the Kansas City area, you want Google to know that the main pages on your website, the main navigation items, you want Google to know that it's appropriate and applicable to all of that whole geographic area. Then we've got service area pages. These are kind of like core pages, but they're for specific geographies. They should be optimized for specific geo keyword pairs. So a service area page for Chula Vista tub to shower conversion, for Oceanside tub to shower conversion, for El Cajon tub to shower conversion. If you don't have a page for each of those three, and it's not just three, right? It's how many areas do you want to compete in? If you don't have pages for those things, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. Here's what you're gonna do, lose. If you create those pages, now you have a chance, but you have to execute those pages at an elite level, okay? Major source of site traffic. Blog pages, everybody's like, oh, I got a blog. Well, what do you have a blog for? And you ask people, why do you have a blog? And they're like, I don't know, I'm supposed to have a blog. I know, but why are you supposed to have a blog? I don't know, you're supposed to. Google likes it for some reason. Here's why Google likes blog. Because you're going to create articles that you're going to write against specific geo keyword pairs. They're also going to be a major source of site traffic. So in other words, we can go to Google and say, what specifically are people searching for when it comes to bathroom remodeling in the San Diego area? And Google will tell us, it will give us a list. It'll say people are searching for not just tub to shower conversions, they're searching for customized tub to shower conversions. Okay, great. we can now create a blog post that is optimized for that specific phrase and a specific area, like say Mission Viejo. And then when somebody in Mission Viejo types in custom tub to shower conversions, Google goes ding, 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 ding. Look, this is exactly what they're looking for. And here's a page that's exactly that. And it sends people to that page. Boom, you get traffic. Boom, you get leads. This is how SEO works. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go over here to my web browser. Okay, we were looking at Midland exteriors. I'm gonna get rid of that. Let's go over here to this page, tub to shower conversions. Now look, this is Sugarman's Bath, and this is their blog. You can see that. Here's a blog that we wrote. It's called Customize Your Tub to Shower Conversion. Now, we've got to make sure that this page is highly optimized for tub to shower conversion and for specific geography. Also right here, I have a service area page. Okay, you can see this is a service area page because right here in the URL, it says service area and it says Chula Vista. And as I scroll down, you can see that there's specific kinds. So let's use this tub to shower conversion. Here's what you're going to see. sugarmansbath.com/service areas, important directory. Let's Google know that we're about to talk about a specific place. Chula Vista, tub to shower conversion. Okay. Now, let me show you a couple of things that are super, super important on this. Number one, here's a photo. What is the name of the photo? Let's take a look. I'm going to attempt to save the image. It's going to show me what the photo was called. Okay. It's called Sugarman's Bath Tub to Shower Conversion, Chula Vista, California. Do you think there's any confusion on Google's part as to what this is a photo of? The answer is no. There's no confusion whatsoever because we specifically named the photo something that Google knows precisely what it is. Okay. Then if you scroll down here, let's see. This is what's called the H1. It's the first header. It's very, very important from an SEO standpoint. Transform your what? Chula Vista, California home bathroom with a what? Tub to shower conversion. And then as you get into the text, could your Chula Vista, California home use an update? Consider a tub to shower conversion. Then you'll see tub to shower shows up in multiple places. You'll also notice that we've got testimonials. You'll notice that we've got additional information that's engaging. We help people understand because here's what you need to understand. You've got to understand, if we do our job right, then here's what's going to happen. Well, let me show you what's going to happen. You come over here. Whoops, where is here? Okay, tub to shower conversion. What is this place called? Chula Vista, California. This is an incognito window. You can see it's all black up here. This is incognito, means that Google is not looking at my search history, because if it knows that I've been to Sugarman Bath's website before, then it's going to lean into that. So this is a incognito. I'm going to encourage you to do the following. Go to an incognito browser and then type in tub to shower conversion, Chula Vista, California. Now, if you were actually in Chula Vista, California, you wouldn't have to type in Chula Vista, California, because Google would know that based on your IP address. But since I'm in Utah, I have to type in Chula Vista, California. Now, let's see what happens when I do this. Okay, tub to shower conversion, Chula Vista. There's some sponsored stuff. We've got reborn cabinets. And let's see, boom, there it is, Sugarman's Bath. If I click on that, guess where it takes me? It takes me, oh, well, actually I was doing Oceanside. Sorry, Oceanside. Let's do Chula Vista. Chula Vista, California. Let's see what comes up. Oh, look, right there, first. The very first thing that comes up in the organic. Now, these are sponsored, that's okay. But here's the first thing that comes up. High quality tub to shower conversions. This is how you win at SEO, is by having the page. This is the same page I was just showing you a minute ago. And then making sure that it's optimized properly. We could do this. I've got a little handy map over here. Where'd the map go? Let's go to map of San Diego. And we could pick any town that we want, and we can start searching and see if it works. So let's go to the map. We don't want to go to Tijuana. Watch what's going to happen here. And I want you to see if you would do fare as well. Man, it is freaking out on me here. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come over here. I don't really need the map because I know a lot of the names of these cities. Tub to shower conversion. And let's try, let's see here. Let me pull up a list. Let's try San Diego. San Diego, California. Let's see what comes up. Okay, Bath Planet, Oh, number 2, Sugarman's Bath. Okay, let's try a different city. Let's try El Cajon. El Cajon. Oh, Sugarman's Bath shows up first. I wonder why, because we're doing it right. All right, let's go to, let's see. We did Chula Vista. Let's go to Claremont, California. Let's see if it shows up here. Oh, there it is, freaking first. I wonder why. Remember, incognito. This is not gaming the system. You can pull this up on your own computer. You can prove it to yourself right now. Let's go to another city. Let's go to Escondido, California. And let's see what shows up there. Okay, Reborn Cabinets is number 1. Yelp is number 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're 6th on this one. How terrible is that? Let's go to La Mesa, California. Let's see if this shows up. This is a relatively new city that we're optimizing for. Oh, there it is, number 5. Imagine that. Let's go to another city in California. Let's go to Poway. I don't know where that is, but it's nearby. Let's see where it shows up. There's Reborn again. They're doing pretty good. Oh, there we are, number 4. Okay, let's try San Marcos. Okay, let's see where they show up. San Marcos, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're only number 5 in San Marcos. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to bath remodeling, a more generic one. Oceanside, California, let's see where they show up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's number 6. Okay, let's try Chula Vista. And let's see where they show up there. Chula Vista, they're gonna show up. Boom, number 3. Here's what I'm trying to show you people. I hope this is not escaping you. If you do this right and you treat SEO like war and you put troops into the battles, here's what happens. If it's optimized properly, check this out. Chula Vista, this is specifically going to a page that we created for Chula Vista. There's no accident that it's showing up on this specific page. It's not going to the home page. It's not going to the San Diego page. It's not going to the El Cajon page. It's going to the Chula Vista page. And you can see right here, Chula Vista is in the URL. You can see right here, Chula Vista is in the H1. You can see right here in the first part of the text, we've got Chula Vista right here. We've got, what do we have? Wet area specialist, family first bathroom remodeling, because we were doing bathroom remodeling. You see how this works? It's not that difficult. We can come back here. We can go to any city you want. Name a city. Somebody name a city. How about Lakeside? Let's see what happens in Lakeside. Yelp shows up. Boom, there it is, number 3. Do you notice who's showing up over and over again? Home Advisor, Yelp, and freaking Sugarman's Bath. No matter where you search. Okay, let's try to break this. Okay, let's go to bathtub replacement, and let's go to San Diego and see if we can break it. Okay, Bath Planet showed up. Oh, there they are, number 4. We can't freaking break this thing because we've optimized and created these pages. We put troops in all these battles. And if you go to this page, here's what you'll find. It's real simple. We've got bathtub remodeling. This is, oh, this is a core page. I'll bet if we go back, we can find multiple times that they show up here. Let's see if we go to page 2, we can find them again, I'll bet. Yep, there they are. We found them twice. Let's try, well, we don't have to try anymore. I think you get the idea. Are you getting the idea? Here's what I'm trying to help you understand. If you do this right, if you have the pages, if you put the troops into battles, and if you optimize the pages properly, it works. This company literally gets hundreds of leads a month from organic, literally. And why wouldn't they? Because there's literally nothing you can search for where they're not showing up on the first page. There is nothing you can search for that they're not showing up on the first page. That's how you win. Now, let's try to go back to our presentation here, if I can find it. That's not it. There it is. Make sure it's showing up properly. Okay, run the numbers. Let's say you're getting 10 organic leads a month now. You should be getting 100. Let's say, let's be conservative, 50. That means you're missing 40 leads a month. If your average sale is 15,000, your closing ratio is 30%, means $100,000 a month that you're not selling, that you should be selling if you showed up everywhere that you should, like I just showed you. How much would you spend on marketing to get that $180,000 a month? And the answer is you'd probably spend 18,000, 10%. If you wouldn't, that's dumb. Guess how much SEO costs? Way less than that. You're going to probably need a new website because your website's probably garbage. Just putting it out there. I'll show you it specifically when I help you do the website audit. It's going to cost you about 20 grand to get a new website. And then it's going to cost you about $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month to do SEO the right way. And this is what's going to happen. It's that simple. Okay. I just already showed you the receipts. I don't need to do that. Okay. Fire your website. This is what the website audit looks like. We'll go through, we'll grade it. Overall score, I told you is average 27. This one's 29. We'll show you how many pages. Look at this right here. Let me show you something. They've got 38 core pages on this one. Number of blog pages, 5. Number of service area pages, 0. I can tell you right now with a high level of certainty that this company, this website, is getting no significant organic traffic, none. Why? They don't have any troops in the battles. How are you going to win a battle if you don't put any troops in there? You go and you go to battle. There's 100 other troops in there that you're fighting against. You put in 0. You're gonna get destroyed. This is so easy, and yet nobody seems to know how to do it right. I don't understand it. So fill this out. If you don't fill this out, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, it just works. You say, well, that's weird, Rich. You say that you figured it out and it works, but it doesn't work for other companies. Look, I don't know. I don't know why other companies haven't figured this out. It seems pretty simple to me. We figured it out. We get good results. Other companies, I don't know, not so much. They're scoring 27 on average. So fill that out. It'll ask you to book a time to talk to us. There's a 50% chance you'll talk to me. There's a 50% chance you'll talk to somebody else because we kind of break that up. Doesn't matter though. Who cares who you talk to? Here's what matters. Let's go through it. Let's take a look at what you're doing, how you're doing, and we'll go from there. Okay, got just a few minutes left. We're going to talk about implementing identity into your advertising. I'm going to tell you this story. This is from Germany. It's about 8 or 9 years ago. They did this survey there, and it was a blind test. They asked people to drink Coke, Pepsi, and then a store brand, and then what was called a test brand that hadn't been introduced. They wanted to get people's feedback on it, and they hooked these electrodes up to their head. You know, they stick these little things on your head, and it was measuring people's brain waves so they could tell what part of their brain was being stimulated when they drank these various colas. Now, here's what they found. Very interesting. When people were drinking Coke and Pepsi, they found that the reward center of their brain would light up like a Christmas tree. It was like, wow, this is great, Coke and Pepsi. But when they drank either the store brand or the test brand, it didn't light up the reward center of their brain. It lit up the values judgment part of their brain. In other words, they were drinking it and trying to decide if they liked it or not. Coke and Pepsi, they'd already decided a long time ago. They love this stuff. When they're drinking it, it's awesome. New brands, store brands, they drink it. They're like, I don't know. Let me decide. Here's the punchline of the story. The truth is they were actually not drinking Coke, Pepsi, store brand, and test brand. What they were actually drinking was a combination of all 4 poured into one. And every time they drank one of those 4, it was actually the same concoction every single time. There was no differences. So here's the question. How come when people thought they were drinking Coke and thought they were drinking Pepsi, when in fact they were not drinking Coke and not drinking Pepsi, did the reward center of their brain light up? And how come the values judgment part of their brain lit up when they were drinking these other brands, or at least they thought? And the answer is, has everything to do with the brand. Has everything to do with the brand. If people like the brand, then they're going to want to do business with it. Contractors typically don't brand. Why? Fragmented industry. There's a lot of small companies. Everyone's addicted to fast, cheap leads. Just sell me leads. Hey, lead selling company, sell me leads. If you buy a lead from an aggregator, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I have a lot of clients that do a lot of business with a lot of aggregators. Wonderful. But just realize every time you buy an aggregated lead, you're getting no brand recognition into the marketplace. None. 0. If you do your own advertising, you start to build it up slowly at first. Over time, you're going to start to build brand. After a while, people are going to see your brand. They're going to need a kitchen. They're going to need a window, whatever it is you sell. And they're going to go, I want the Coke, not the store brand. It's also a sales-driven industry. People think it's expensive. A lot of people think that branding just means being professional. Hey, we wear polo shirts. We show up on time. Our trucks are wrapped. Okay, that's good. But that's not what I'm talking about when I say branding. This is even true for a lot of big companies. The result is they have no brand or they have a very weak brand. I've talked to $25 million companies that spend almost all their money in aggregated leads, and nobody in the marketplace at large has any idea who they are. Now, look, Obviously, they're doing $20 million. They've got a formula that works. What I'm suggesting is augmenting that, and instead of only doing one or two things that don't have any branding visibility, that you consider injecting some branding visibility into what you're doing. Okay, I told you earlier to I was going to give you some radio ads. I'm just going to read these instead of playing them. It's a little bit easier. One of the most common questions we get about kitchen and bathroom remodeling is how much does it cost? But the question you should be asking is how much does it weigh? How much does it weigh? Actually, you can tell a lot about the quality of a kitchen or bathroom by how much the faucet weighs. At Jericho, we only use high quality Moen faucets. They weigh about 10 pounds each. They're solid metal, they look fantastic, and they'll last forever. Other remodelers save money by using off-brand plastic faucets that only weigh about 1.5 pounds. 10 pounds versus 1.5 pounds. If you want a remodeling job that weighs right, call Jericho. And then we would go on to have an offer. We would have phone number, URL, etc. Obviously, okay? But this is called telling the story. Remember, identity, communicating with power, precision. Look at the precision in this ad. Power, precision, passion, who you are, how you're different, why you're better, what people can expect when they do business with you. Is there any doubt what kind of company you're going to do business with after you hear this ad? Answer, not a chance. All right, here's another one. Do you think it matters if the guy who's out there building your deck cares about his job? This is Nick at Hutcherson Construction. I'm here to tell you it matters a lot. Most deck companies hire the cheapest subcontractors they can find, give them no training, no benefits, then fire them the second they don't have enough work to keep them busy. They can barely pay their bills and they hate their jobs, and that's the guy out there building your deck. At Hutcherson, our installers are the lifeblood of our company. Remember, power, precision, passion. They're actual W-2 employees who we pay well and give full benefits. We keep them busy all year long and they love their jobs. Costs a little more to treat people right, but just wait until you see your gorgeous new deck built with love by employees who love their jobs. One last one. Ever notice how most people never leave online reviews unless they're really mad and they want the entire world to know how bad their experience was? Nick from Hutcherson Construction here. Believe it or not, we only have 5-star reviews. No 4 stars, no 3, 2, or 1 stars, only 5-star reviews. I'm serious. Google Hutcherson Construction, click on the reviews. You'll see that our lowest review is 5 stars. Think about that. We build decks and roofs and siding. Contractors are notorious for overpromising, under-delivering, and yet in 7 years, not a single review less than 5 stars. We treat customers right. We do it what we say. We finish on time. We charge a fair price. We also build the most gorgeous, durable, amazing decks and roofs and siding that you've ever seen. Want to be our next 5-star review? Call for a free estimate. Okay, now, here's what I'm trying to help you understand. You take your identity points and then you integrate the stories, the examples, the power, the precision, the passion, and you tell that story. This is how you get great results. Okay, we have TV ad. I'm going to skip the TV ad. Well, I'll play it.
I want you to think about plastic. Most windows are made out of vinyl, which is just another word for plastic. Flimsy, bendy, warpy plastic. Midland exterior windows are made from fiberglass, which is literally twice as strong as plastic. Our fiberglass windows are far more energy efficient and will never bend or warp. Plus, they look stunning. For Kansas tough windows, choose fiberglass.
All right, one last one. I don't know if you can hear that well or not, but we'll play this one. Well, I'll try to play this one.
Siding nerd Jeff here. Does it matter what kind of siding you put on your home? Yes, it does. For proof, we're doing a fire test.
That people have on what we've talked about today. So feel free to raise your hand in the questions. And like I said, if you'd like to get the free website audit so we can take a look at how you're doing, go ahead and fill that out. And I'm going to take questions right now from whoever has them. If I can figure out the question thing. All right. All right, any questions? Any questions? I don't see any questions. All right, last chance for questions. Otherwise, we're going to end up the webinar. We will be sending out an email with the, what do you call it? The YouTube video of this. Who can get us to $25 million? Barry wants to know. Well, that depends on a lot of factors. Here's what you're going to want to do if you're trying to get to $25 million. By the way, Barry, what are you at now? You got 25 million, you got 10, where are you at? Already over 10. So here's what I would look at. Again, not knowing anything about you at the moment, Barry, but I would say, let's take a look at what market you're in. And if you're in a market that makes sense to start putting your toes into radio and television, you can start building your brand. If you're already doing those things, you can build them stronger. From an SEO standpoint, you can start putting troops into the specific geo keyword battles that you want to fight in, and you can start generating over time. This is something that takes time. This is not an immediate thing, but over the course of time, you can start to generate very, very, very low cost leads from the work that you've already done. So think about this SEO thing that I was showing you earlier, where Sugarman's Bath was showing up literally everywhere I searched for every search term that I was trying. Those pages remain on the internet basically forever unless you removed them for some reason, and they're just going to continue to generate leads. So there's an upfront cost to put those troops into battles, but as they start to generate leads, the cost over time goes down. We've been working with Sugarman's Bath for 2-3 years now, and here's what's interesting. They're generating hundreds of leads. And if you were to do the math on that, you're talking about like $10 a lead or something like that. But it takes some time to build that up, but they just stay there. This is how you get to $25 million. Radio, no. TV, yes. It's our SEO. Yeah, Barry, do me a favor, fill out the website audit, and we'll talk to you about that. Got another question from Mark. How about GBP with SEO and its relationship? Yeah, great question. GBP, in case you're not aware, Google Business Profile. Here's what GBP is. It is a subsection of SEO. So here's what you want to do with Google Business Profile. You want to take the content that you create for your website that is geo keyword optimized, for instance, geo keyword optimized blogs and service area pages, and you want to post them to your Google Business Profile. Then Google's going to look at that and say, oh, look, here's an article about Chula Vista tub to shower conversions. They must be a good fit for for homeowners that are looking for Chula Vista tub to shower conversions. So what you do is you create your content. It's going to work from an SEO standpoint, Mark. Then you're also going to post that content to your Google Business Profile, which is going to let Google know that you're serious about doing business in those areas. If you don't, then you're going to be stuck pretty much only showing up in Google Business Profile in the city that you actually have a physical address in, which is typically 1 or 2 locations maximum. So here's the key, just to make sure it was super clear, Mark. You've got to create the content that's geo keyword optimized and then post it, whether that's service area pages, whether that's blogs, whether that's photos, videos, online reviews that are specific to those areas. You've got to consistently, multiple times per month, be posting content in the areas where you want to show up. That's how it works. In the examples that I showed you here with Sugarman's Bath, they're getting, I'd have to look a little closer at a report, but they're getting something like 1/3 of their organic traffic is from Google Business Profile. So it's a good question. Glad you brought it up, Mark. Thank you. All right, any other questions as we start to land the plane here? Okay, I don't see any more questions. And that means that we're done for participating and watching. We'll be talking to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye now.